What's going on, guys? I'm about to check out this loser by the name of Hunter Cry Alone. Call him that because he cried alone when his wife left him for 5 guys that looked like me. I tried to warn him. She like slid in my DMs. I was like, hey man, your wife like me. She want a real man. Better step your game up. He was like, nah. So he's a little woke loser, and we roast him from time to time. He's calling out Matt Walsh and probably accusing him of being racist or something like that. Let's check this out. Laugh at it. But we're going to give our honest opinion. Hit the like button, share the video.
VODs and... All right, Matt Walsh. Matt Walshed up. Let's hear what dumb shit you have to say.
Not more than I hate this facial hair. What is he? Man, like, figure it out. Either grow it all or shave it. What is that? What is that supposed to be? The drink look weird. Like a cracked out Johnny Depp.
Today.
Well, for those who don't follow football, the NFL playoffs are currently underway. My Baltimore Ravens
You look like a suspect pirate.
are playing on Saturday against the Houston Texans, and that's neither here nor there. I just want to mention it. You know, I'm excited about it. Much to my chagrin,
Look like his son don't respect him.
and nobody in the audience cares about football.
Now I'm
Gee,
just
Matt,
saying facts.
You like watching a bunch of buff, muscular men run around in matching outfits and little tights, tackling each other, wrestling each other over some balls? That sounds kind of gay, doesn't it? Sounds a little gay.
You guys, you don't care about football, and you don't care about aliens. And those are like
These are the same woke liberals that will use the alphabet to attack someone and destroy them and cancel them and take them down, using the alphabet now as an insult. Think about that. Next time someone tries to use the alphabet to cancel somebody, think about that. This man's using it as an insult.
half of the things I care about. And yet somehow we make this relationship work. You know, I don't know how we do it, but we do.
They get away with
So anyway, for the teams who didn't make the playoffs, it's been a bit of a bloodbath for coaches. Lots of coaches are getting fired, you know, as always happens at the end of the regular season. The difference is that this time you got some legendary coaches that are getting the boot, including Bill Belichick from the New England Patriots. After 475 years as their head coach and after winning like 83 Super Bowls or whatever it was, he's now gone. And a few days ago, his replacement was announced. And the guy taking over is named Gerard Mayo. He's 37 years old. He's a former player. He has no head coaching experience. He has very little coaching experience in general. And he's the guy they're bringing in to take over the most successful, take over for the most successful NFL coach of all time. So we'll see how that works out. I'm guessing it will work out very poorly. That's my prediction. In fact, I'm even more sure that it will work out poorly after watching the introductory press conference for the new coach yesterday. Gerard Mayo, I guess we should mention now, is black. And that's a fact that...
Gee, I wonder if that has anything to do at all with Matt assuming that the guy's just going to do bad and be a bad coach.
And that's a fact that shouldn't matter and shouldn't even be notable, especially in the NFL when like 70% of everybody in the NFL at every level is black. But it does matter because it became, of course, a focal point during the press conference, which in turn made the press conference a subject of discussion on social media with lots of people sharing their opinions about it. So first of all, just as context, it may be worth noting that Mayo explained in his opening remarks that after retiring from the Patriots as a player, he was first a player, now he's a coach, but as retiring as a player, he initially left football and went to go work in the financial field. And it was while working in finance that he learned a valuable lesson that will help him as an NFL coach. And here he is explaining that lesson.
I took a break. I went to Optum. I needed a break from Bill. I went to Optum for about 4 years. And I came back. And one thing I came back with I learned a lot at Optum. Larry Renfro, Mike Mateo, those guys. I learned a lot at Optum about diversity, right? About diversity and inclusion. And you better believe it. Being the first black coach here in New England means a lot to me.
Oh no, Matt Walsh is not going to like this. Anytime we have conversation.
Nah, fam. Matt Walsh isn't the one that made this about him being black. The coach made it about him being black. What the first thing I learned was about diversity. You didn't learn nothing then, actually. You didn't learn a damn thing if that's all you could bring up.
About diversity and inclusion, Matt Walsh gets very uncomfortable. Don't ask yourself why.
So weird.
But those guys taught me you have to take ideas from other people. Black, white, green, yellow, it really doesn't matter. Old, young.
Yes, this is an NFL head coach taking over for the greatest coaching legend in the history of the sport, explaining how he learned about the importance of diversity and inclusion while working in finance.
That sounds dumb as hell.
So, for example, there are studies that show banks, for example, when utilizing diversity, when banks have more diverse managers and more women involved and more diversity in the company, those banks tend to do better and perform better. That's a financial thing.
Man, shut your ass up. Huh? I gotta be tired of something. There's no way. Like, that sounds insane to me. How is that even a focus? This dude sounds... Wow, man. Woke people will come up with anything.
That's the financial industry. And that's a very real study also, by the way. Yeah, you could absolutely have learned the importance of diversity and inclusion while working in finance. How is this so crazy for him to possibly comprehend?
Because you ain't learned nothing.
Not to mention, if you're working in finance, what sector? Could you have potentially been kind of put in a position where you're forced to recognize the disparity between wealth when we're talking about white people on average compared to black people on average?
If you are a Patriots fan,
I'm sorry, this guy's a coach, right? He's a football coach, right? What the hell is this loser Hunter talking about? The football coach. This is why. That's right there. Right there. That's why he thought he could get that off in that press conference.
And it's hard to imagine a more discouraging thing to hear from the new head coach of your team.
Yeah, it's so discouraging to hear that diversity is important.
I mean, there are...
Why would I care about that? Why would I give a damn about that? This is a sport. Yo, this guy is crazy.
First things, I guess. He could have said that he learned about diversity and inclusion from, watching Dylan Mulvaney TikToks. He also noted that I am an 8. I mean, I should go. They could have actually hired Dylan Mulvaney to coach the team. That would be worst of all. We're not quite there yet. We'll be there in a few years. So that's where we are now. But
that's the worst you could think of. What if he said he learned about diversity and inclusion from you, Matt? Now we're talking about a really bad outcome.
In any event, this comment about diversity and inclusion, I think, lends some context to what happened next. During the media questions, during that portion of the event,
sounds crazy.
Mayo and the owner of the team, Robert Kraft, were asked, of course, about the significance of Mayo being a black head coach. And Robert Kraft gave basically a good answer. He said that he hired the best man for the job, and that man just so happened to be black. He said that Mayo's color is not relevant to him. Like, he wasn't looking to hire a black man. He was just looking to hire the best guy. And this is the best guy in his opinion. Happens to be black. Doesn't matter. So that's the right answer. Like, that's the correct answer. That's a good answer. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if that's actually accurate. I'm not sure if they hired the best man for the job or if they were looking to make a diversity hire. We do know that the NFL does a whole hell of a lot to incentivize / force teams to at least consider quote unquote minority candidates. And I have to say quote unquote minority candidates because, again, in the context of the NFL, black men are not the minority. So those are not minority candidates by any stretch.
It's not talking about minorities within your company. It's talking about minorities within the country.
Imagination in the NFL. But anyway, that's
what they got to do with this. It's like the point going over Hunter's head is because he's so hyper focused on trying to paint Matt Walsh as a villain.
the answer that he gave. And we have no reason to believe that it's not true.
Whatever.
But Gerard Mayo himself had a different take. In fact, in his answer, he kind of rebuked indirectly the owner who was sitting right next to him. And he said this.
I do see color because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person, I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always, for the most part, people are like, when they're young, they kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means. But what I would say is, like, no, I want you to be able to go up to those people.
Made the spot hot is crazy. They made the spot hot. Young people know that no, they don't. Young people do not know. I'm not young, and that's a saying from my time. That's like saying you jive turkeys. Young people know what that means. They can get away from the man. Big Brother's watching. Young people know what that means. No, they don't. They don't know what that means. They don't know. That's not what that means.
Really understand
to them.
So it goes back to whatever it is, black, white, yellow, it really doesn't matter, but it does matter so we can try to fix the problem that we all know we have.
Okay,
Okay, that made a lot of sense to me. Yeah. It's not just about like not seeing color, like I'm blind to the color of people. It's more about like, yeah, this can be someone's skin color. What is their story? What is the experience that they've had? If you really want to understand that person.
What they got to do with you throwing the ball, passing the ball, running with the ball? Explain that to me. Explain that to me.
Person that will be relevant. So he's saying that if you want to understand someone's struggles, if you want to understand the way that racism is still affecting people, you do need to be aware of color, not see it to a detriment, not just judge people on the basis of their skin color.
What that got to do with football?
Color? Of course not. However, you need to be willing to recognize the skin color of some people. For example, when we talk about black people disproportionately living in poverty, well, the fact that they're black is pretty relevant there. So yeah, in that case, I do see color. So it's more just a conversation about how this colorblind thing, in theory, the incentive is very nice. Unfortunately, the world is not ideal and we don't live in a perfect world. And even if you decide that you're not going to see race, the way that society operates right now, it still sees race and people are still.
Yeah, like that. What's crazy about this is what this got to do with playing football. That's all I'm trying to understand. That's it. Is anybody? Let me know in the comment section. Does it sound like they just grifting?
Still facing negative consequences because of their race. So even if you choose not to see race, it doesn't stop the actual issue.
Okay, now, as I said, that clip went viral and lots of people did not like Mayo's statement that he does see color. Like that's the thing people are kind of focusing in on, is that he said that he does see color. But that's not the problem here. Okay, that is not the issue with what he said. Of course he sees color. We all do. Like, we all notice the races of the people that we are interacting with. Saying that you don't see color it's nonsensical. It's like saying you don't see height. I don't see height. I don't even notice.
I thought you said the guy before that said, I kind of just don't see color, whatever. I thought you said that was the right answer.
I don't see height. I don't even notice it. Like, of course you notice it. If somebody's short, you notice it. If somebody's tall, you notice it. Of course you do. In fact, every time you look at someone,
usually when people say I don't see color, they don't mean that they literally don't see color. Of course they do. I think that they mean they're not going to let that affect anything whatsoever when it comes to their assessment of that person, which again is probably the better thing to do when you're dealing with people individually. However, when it talks about the relevance of seeing color, it's about understanding how that may have affected their experience.
I can't with his crying. What's the next segment?
Even though as a black...
What? Did he say he was constantly on the lookout for racism? Did he actually ever say that?
NFL player turned coach who was 37 years old and has been a star athlete all his life, he is unlikely to have ever encountered very much racism. Okay.
How do you know this?
And in fact, it's like almost all but guaranteed that I have encountered more racism than he has.
What?
In fact, that's like definite. And in the context,
the Oppression Olympics? Matt, how have you faced more racism? Do you know this guy's story? When did he start playing sports? Did he come from a poor background? How do you know this? You just assume, dude. God. Yep, Matt Walsh, guys. He's been a victim of racism more than...
Well, if you had to be educated, and this is in his words as a grown man, about racism and diversity and all this other stuff, I would assume that he didn't deal with much racism. Right? Is that not a fair assumption? Right? If you had to be educated about something according to you. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Then this black guy, how does he know this? He doesn't. He just has a feeling in his tummy.
Context of being an NFL player, like as an NFL player and now coach, you're not encountering any racism at all, ever. Like it just doesn't exist there.
You literally don't know this.
Yet he's constantly on the lookout for it, he says.
Matt, you played us the clip and now you're saying he said something that wasn't in the clip.
This is what it means to value diversity and inclusion, after all. I mean, that's what it means. He said he values diversity and inclusion, and now he's explaining what that means. And this is what they taught him.
It means being aware of how color can play a role in certain people's experiences and how racism is still a factor. That's all he said. That's literally all he said. The most mundane, mild, timid little thing. And you're up here pissing yourself over it.
Yo, Vince. This is the Pander Olympics. That's what this sound like. The grifting Olympics, right? Just like, hey, let me save you, black guy. You need my help. I need to come out here. And no, it sounds stupid. Sound dumb as hell. Like, I have not yet to hear anything that had anything to do with football. Like, what? How does all this blackness and racism and diversity, how does this help you play better football or coach better football? I don't think it does.
Right, Matt? You're such a little bitch baby.
In finance. Instead of teaching him,
calling him names is
finance.
Also,
just the idea.
What is this two-dimensional mindset? Maybe he learned about finance and the importance of diversity. Nope, you can only learn one thing at school.
Anything significant at all about hiring a black coach is, of course, absurd. Again, 70% of the NFL is black or more. There are many black coaches.
The NFL, yeah, but how many coaches? It could very well be significant. The own NFL website says NFL hits highs in diverse executives, lacks in head coaches, while continuing to face criticism and a lawsuit for lack of representation among head coaches. So see how dishonest and weaselly this Matt Walsh
dumbass lawsuit. The dumbass lawsuit if I ever heard one. This dude is boring as hell, bro. Let's go past it. Like, let's go past it, man. This is crazy. He's skimming.
Listen to what he said.
Listen
to what he actually said. So I took the liberty of transcribing.
This is so trash.
And here's what
is going to be. Matt Walsh is going to give a very dishonest interpretation of what he said.
He actually said,
sound like you.
Quote, whatever happens, black, white, disabled person, even somebody with disabilities, I always, for the most part, people are like, when you're young, they kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means. But what I would say is like, no, I want you to be able to go up to these people and really understand these people. So it goes back to whatever it is, black, white, yellow. It really doesn't matter, but it does matter. So we can try to fix the problem that we all know we have.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be funny here. I have no idea what any of that means. Okay?
So you're just then. This is a very classic form of Republican argumentation, which is essentially saying, because I'm too stupid to understand, that means it's wrong. Matt, just because you're a dumb does not mean that what that guy said was actually meaningless. No, I will give you...
Just because you throw insults, I mean, you have a valid point. And literally, you're describing every type of disagreement you've ever had in your existence on YouTube. Is you being stupid and not understanding and then going crazy. When I came onto your stream and I tried to warn you about your wife, wanting to get her... She wanted to get clapped up, man. Why am I being discreet? She wanted to get clapped up, tried to slide up on DMs, tried to warn you. She ended up trying to hook up 5 guys. She wanted the 555 special from Domino's. She wanted to do the Booker T 5-time. Cry alone champion. That's what she wanted to do. and you just didn't accept the responsibility for your lack of masculinity, which caused her to run away. You too stupid to understand, so you tried to clown me. And then look at you now. Now you using your girlfriend, the current one, as a human shield and trying to get popularity off of it.
You that, yes, it was a little bit convoluted and sounded like he stuttered a little bit. Sounded like he was saying like and like a lot at first, especially. But it sounded like what he was saying is that people used to say stuff about disabled people, like they make the spot hot, like a kind of.
All right, enough. This is the video. I can't. Not today. We ain't watching this loser, man. He ain't gonna bring my energy down. We just watched a dope reaction to this song. We ain't gonna bring my energy down with this loser. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed watching the video. Now, if you have some extra time, can you do me a favor? Check out my music. I rap, I sing, and I make beats. All of that should be linked in the description. Also, if you want to watch me live stream, you can check me out on BX Beast Boy Live. That's another YouTube channel. It should be linked to my homepage. And you can check me out on Twitch and Rumble. I'm streaming on all these platforms, man. Trying to just get out there. Also, if you want to support me, you can sign up for my memberships on my channel, as well as my Patreon for as low as $1. You get exclusive access to a bunch of videos early before you even get it on YouTube, as well as videos that's not ever going to be on YouTube. Stuff that actually got me suspended and banned. It's kind of my anti-cancel culture fund for BX Beast Boy. You know what I mean? And it also helps me get resources for certain video essays and things of that nature. Check that out if you're able to. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and join my Discord if you are able to, man. The link should be somewhere within my description or somewhere on my channel. I would really love to see you there, man. That's where you get a chance to talk to me and the rest of my supporters, man. I appreciate you guys. Bang, gang, out.